Greetings, greetings. Hey y'all, happy Saturday. Is it really happy? No. This is your Bowling for Fruit by, oh God, I can never say fruit. Bowling for Fruit bi-weekly Q&A with Remsen and Nicole. I'm one of your hosts, Nicole Richey, or plant-based Nicole Richey. And we have Tribe by Noir joining us as well. Hey Remsen. Hey guys, come on in, come on in. Hey, share this live, you guys. Y'all got your fruit ready? Okay, don't even say anything about my light skin seeds. I dare you to say something. Yes, I went to Whole Foods to get some watermelon, and they only had seedless. So guess what? I got it because I can. And guess what? I'm going to be okay. I'm going to live because it's not going to kill you. Okay, hey Remsen, I'm about to accept you. Remsen, come on in. Ugh. Let's see.
Hey, what's going on? How you doing?
Hey, what's up?
All right. You don't got to get engaged in all the apologia for what you did.
You know
You don't
what
got to do
I'm
that.
saying? I feel like I gotta explain, huh?
You don't got to do that. You don't got to, you explaining, doing all this explaining,
No, I gotta stop explaining because you know the plant-based community will judge you in a minute. So I always feel like I gotta say something and I gotta stop doing that because I don't gotta answer. I don't have to answer to anybody. If I got a seedless watermelon because that's all they had, that's my business.
It's not seedless.
It's they light skinned.
Yeah.
They are seasoned. There's lots of season here. They just mix. They half black and half white.
That's right. People being colorist.
Right. Hey, dang it, I forgot my notebook because I wrote down something. Well, first, how are you doing, Remsen?
Today's rough. Today's rough. Something happened to me that hasn't happened in a few years. I'm a little under the weather.
Are you? Like a cold?
You know what? You know what pushed me over the edge?
Oh, I can hear
I'm already recovering.
I can hear it.
I'm already recovering. Yeah. So I flew out to Ohio. I was chilling, hanging out with the missus. Went to some social events. Flew back home. Right? So a lot of exposure to the unwashed masses. Right? Flying and traveling amongst the peasants. I'm playing. He said,
Not the
the peasant class.
No matter.
We're all peasants in the United States. Yeah, and so I got home and I decided, I said, you know what? Let me get a nice hard leg workout going. And that pushed me over the edge.
Ooh.
Because I had to recover from this intense workout and, whatever was attacking my body. But you know what? I literally had a sore throat, and it only lasted for a few hours. And that was about it. So it's passing now. The worst of it is pretty much over at this point. So now I'm just dealing with the fatigue.
Yeah.
So it didn't last
Mm-hmm.
It didn't last for more than 24 hours.
I have that kind of experience when I got COVID like a year and a half ago or so, right? But it was like I didn't have COVID. I had some sniffles and congestion. I had a fever that lasted for like an hour, then it went away. And when I had the fever for that hour, I didn't feel like I had a fever. You know, when people have fevers, they feel sick. I didn't feel that.
Yeah.
I didn't feel anything to the point where I was
feel tired.
I was shocked that I had a fever, but it only lasted for like an hour. It went away. And then for like 10 days, I had sniffles. I still was working. Of course, I couldn't go in the office because of the policies, but I worked from home for 10 days. And guess what? I had 10 days of COVID pay that I could have easily used. Can you say sabbatical? I could have been off for 10 days using that COVID pay, but I was like, no, I feel fine. I can work. I kind of regret doing that. But the point is that I had COVID, but I didn't feel, I had sniffles, and then I was fine. I was still making my dancing videos and being silly on Instagram. I felt fine. It was just like sniffles. And so I think I'm maybe the diet, maybe our lifestyle. I don't know. Or maybe we were just blessed. Maybe we just happened to be blessed and didn't.
It's the diet plus melanin.
But yeah, so I understand, like, you know, I can relate where yours didn't last long, or your symptoms aren't as bad as they can be, you know?
Yeah. I don't know if I've ever caught COVID. I don't think I did.
I was like, I don't even feel like I got COVID. I knew people that were this, I don't want to say the word, this thing that people get.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I knew people that had this that had the experience worse than me. And I ain't even, I'm not this. I'm not,
Yeah.
If y'all know what I'm trying to say, I'm trying to speak in code. I don't want to say it because I don't want them taking my video down. But the thing that people got to get now, sometimes they got to get this thing in your arm.
It's the schmovid schmaxy.
So I don't have that, but my experience with COVID was so much better than so many people that I know that are. But anywho, okay, so you guys, I saw this guy. I posted a video yesterday. Yes, the jab. I posted a video of this guy, which, by the way, his skin is flawless. And he was eating watermelon and squeezing lemon juice on it. And it looked so good that he made me go buy a watermelon. And then I got some lemons here. And I just really want to try to see what this tastes like, because he made it look
a real kick in the mouth. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm about to squeeze this lemon juice, y'all, on this watermelon. This is my first time doing this. So I got me a whole lemon, but this is half of it. And I'm going to squeeze this sucker on here, and I'm going to just see what the hype is about. Like, is it really good? Because I just want to know. I want to know. Okay. Oh, that smells so refreshing. Makes me want to skip. Hey, Brimson, I wrote some notes down, but I forgot the doggone notebook in my room. I saw your video yesterday. Hey, you guys, I forgot. This is a Q&A, so put your questions in the question box. If you want to come on and ask Brimson a question on the live, as long as you act right, you can come on, unless it starts messing up our quality like it did last week. Questions in the question box. I'm going to start off with asking you, dang, now I forgot what the video is about. Oh, okay. So you made a video about...
It's about fasting.
Fasting, you're like saying that, dang, what did you say? You said fasting could be great for healing and weight loss, but it can also be...
Some people have very adverse reactions to the first 48 hours of fasting.
Yeah, so I wanted to talk about the fasting. So, because I feel like people should not go on a fast with the mindset of doing it for weight loss, because of course they're going to end up accomplishing their goal, but then, but it's not sustainable to fast forever. So when they go back to eating, they end up going crazy with food, so they gain back their weight plus more. So I feel like fasting should only be done for the reason of healing, and then, you know, now you're probably going to lose weight, but don't do it for the weight loss. That's what I feel. So you feel that, do you feel that people should do fasting with the mindset of doing it for weight loss as well as healing?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
But the thing is that it's not, it has an indirect result of weight loss, right? Because it doesn't work the way that just eating less does.
Hold on, Winston. Hold on. That was heckin' good. Hold. I'm sorry. The lemon, ooh, wait! It's the freshness for me, boo. Okay, that tastes good. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but that was good. That shocked me. It took the freshness to a whole nother level. Okay, I'm sorry. That was good. The lemon juice, y'all, on the watermelon. Okay, sorry. Carry on, Remsen. Sorry. Woo! Okay, go.
Um, I told you it's a kick in the mouth.
Y'all, the lemon juice on the watermelon will make you slap your mama. If my mama was in here, she would have got slapped in love. Okay, Remsen, carry on about the weight loss and fasting.
It's good for weight loss because it corrects your hormones.
Really?
So the next video that I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about the assumption that people have where they think they have one metabolism.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, people say I have a slow metabolism. So I got to speed it up, and it's not really how it works, right? You don't have a slow metabolism or a low metabolism. You have two different metabolisms. So you have a fat metabolism and a glucose metabolism. And this is why you have some people where, you know, they'll have a carb dominant diet, whole food, high raw, they're exercising, and the weight's coming off real slow. And they're like, you know, I'm eating real clean. I got an abundance of fruit in my diet. I'm doing everything right. I'm working out. I feel good. I sleep better. Or better than I used to, but the weight's not really coming off. And that's because their fat metabolism is probably poor.
Their fat metabolism?
You could tell, yeah. You could tell your fat metabolism is poor if you do a fast and your blood sugar crashes through the floor. Like it just keeps declining. Blood sugar hit 90, 80, 70, 60. Feel lightheaded, fatigued. It's a terrible feeling.
Oh, wait a minute. Somebody said the sound is gone. Y'all can't hear us?
It's a terrible feeling.
Oh, wait a minute. Somebody said the sound is gone. I can hear it on my other device, you guys. Can everybody put a heart if you can hear both of us? Remsen, say something again.
Yeah.
Okay, somebody please give us a heart ASAP to make sure you guys can hear us. Yes, you can hear us, Lakia? Because somebody said, okay, thank you. Somebody said they couldn't. Maybe it's your phone, dear. Just maybe turn it off and turn it back on. Okay, thank you, Carl. Okay, go ahead.
Yes. So some people have a slow fat metabolism. So the fat metabolism is shut off, right? And fasting will show you that. Because the thing is that when you fast, when there's an absence of glucose, as your blood sugar drops, fat metabolism picks up, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, the thing is that there's different organs in the body that manage the metabolism, right? Your glucose metabolism, your fat metabolism, these are governed in different ways. And they run parallel to each other normally, where you're burning a mix of glucose and fat simultaneously. But they deviate from each other. So they run parallel, but they deviate from each other. Right? So the more glucose you have in your bloodstream, the more geared towards glucose metabolism your body's going to be. And that's going to significantly reduce your fat metabolism. When blood sugar levels decline, that's when your fat metabolism increases. All right? And it peaks when your blood sugar is in between like 110 and 7. Right? Ideally, your blood sugar should be around 90, right? Something like this is where you're going to get like peak blood sugar. So your body does this in a variety of ways, right? Your adrenal glands release adrenaline, noradrenaline, and your body releases growth hormone. And these things work to metabolize fat in order to stabilize your blood sugar, because your blood sugar can't just keep declining, because if it drops too low, you pass out and go into a coma. So that's why fat has to be broken down, converted into glucose to keep the blood sugar up. When a fast is like super debilitating, that will go to show you that your fat metabolism is shut off, right? And so you'll see your blood sugar level just declining with no end, and it can be very debilitating. Now, it takes, for some people, it takes roughly 48 hours. Some people 72 hours to come out of that phase. Right? So if you have a blood sugar monitor, and I work with people who are like diabetics and things like that, so we get to monitor these things in real time. And the first 24 hours, some people the first 12 hours, 16 hours, it's debilitating. And they're like, I don't know if I should be doing
The fast,
right? Because it feels like, it's jarring. Headaches and fatigue and all this type of stuff, It feels like, this is going to kill me, right? It can feel like that.
wow.
Right? Some people, they're like bedridden. But once you get past like the 48 or 72 hours, that's when things start to change. And then you end up having more energy and all that type of stuff, and you don't really feel the need to eat. But before that, you can experience restlessness, where like you have this burst of energy and kind of like it's hard to kind of relax and just chill out. You may feel a little amped up. You may experience headaches. The headaches usually come before that. The fatigue usually comes before that. Afterwards comes the restlessness, right? And that's like you want to eat, but it's not because you feel hungry. It's just because you just feel like you just want to eat something, right? Or you just want to do something. You don't even know what you want to do. You just want to do something.
Hey, Remsen, have you ever heard of anybody projectile vomiting because of this? Because I was watching YouTube, and somebody said they went on a fast, and then they projectile vomited, like, excuse me.
Yeah. Nausea. Yeah, you can experience nausea too, yeah.
Like the kind that goes way to the other side of the room? Is that what projectile means? Like it
I don't know about
out?
Going to the other side of the room. I don't know about all that.
That's what projectile means. It's like it. Anyway, okay, go ahead. That was just.
You can feel nauseous and vomit. Some people have done that. I don't know how common that is, but it can happen. So I have like a couple people doing rolling fasts. And so essentially the first rolling fast is like the hardest one, that first 3 days or so. And then after the 3 days, you start eating again. And what happens is that every time you do the fast, it gets easier. Okay? The first one doesn't yield significant weight loss, but the ones after that do. So the more of these fasts you do, the more weight you lose, because your fat metabolism kicks on quicker. Your body becomes more responsive. A lot of people struggle to lose weight because they have adrenal fatigue issues. Adrenaline is needed in order to metabolize fat. Right? You got adrenal fatigue, and like adrenal fatigue is like, you have really poor sleep quality. You feel very unmotivated. You don't wake up feeling rested. You can even have like a lot of gassy, bloating issues. Foods feeling really heavy, and this kind of thing, right? And then feeling very lethargic after eating. And this is really a sign that you can have adrenal fatigue.
Okay.
Right? So some people, the best thing you can tell them is, well, work on improving your sleep quality. Get to bed earlier, shut the lights out about an hour and a half or so before bed, sound therapy, that kind of thing. But if it's a hormonal issue, right, one of the best ways to correct it is through fasting. Because with the fasting, it resets your hormones in a different kind of way. So it's a different kind of rest. It's not the conventional kind of sleep. Right? But your body takes a break from digestion and all this type of stuff. And digestion requires a lot of energy. It's actually very energy intensive. You can burn more calories on a day of eating than you would on a fast. You actually burn less calories when you fast.
You burn less calories. Oh yeah.
Right? You can burn like 600 to 1,000 calories less when you fast. Um, because your body is not as active in doing stuff like with the digestion if you're eating several times a day. But some people need to do that. You got to take a break from eating. And what happens is your body goes through autophagy, and this is what allows your body to get uncongested, and this improves your organ function. Right? So your body will get rid of atherosclerotic plaque, your body will shrink polyps, cysts, fibroids. Your body will break up stones. Your kidneys will be ticked up in volume, meaning your kidney function actually improves, your liver function improves. But my video specifically was about the first 48 to 72 hours. Because as your fat metabolism kicks on, not only is fat released from your fat cells, but the toxins that are stored in your fat cells also get released along with it. And that kind of adds to the terrible feeling, right?
Right.
Some people, they break out of rashes. Like, they're like, I got these rashes on my face. I don't know what happened. I broke out on my face from fasting.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, well, because you have these toxins that are emptying out of your fat cells, and your body is like dumping toxins, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it can show up in your face, but it adds, because that's what, when people talk about fasting to detox your body, essentially what they're talking about is getting rid of built up toxins inside your fat cells, because your fat cells store toxins as a protection mechanism, right? Because there has to be this accumulation of metabolites. Because when you eat food and your body metabolizes foods, there's always a waste product. Everything your body uses is a waste product that comes as a result of that. Even when you breathe, oxygen, carbon dioxide, it's a waste product. When you do a muscle contraction and your body uses creatine, you get creatinine. It's a waste product. Right? Lactic acid, it's a waste product. There's different types of things. And so your body has to get rid of these things. It has to get rid of it primarily through your kidneys, your lymphatic system, and then whatever it can't be getting rid of, it gets stored inside your fat cells, predominantly in your liver. So your liver sucks up a lot of toxins. In that video that I did, I specifically mentioned that if you have long-term usage of medications, specifically fat-soluble medications, you're going to be storing a lot of the metabolites and the byproducts from those medications in your liver. Right? If you take a medication, there is going to be a waste product from that medication. And it either has to be excreted from your body or it's got to be stored in order to be pulled from your bloodstream. If you're very overweight, you're storing a lot of fat, and you have a fatty liver, you're going to see this stuff accumulating in your liver over a period of months, years, etc. So for me, I treat obesity as a chronic illness, right? The interesting thing about weight loss, most people don't really understand how weight loss works. If you need to lose 10 to 15 pounds, then you could like, oh yeah, let's do a 500 calorie deficit, right? Just eat a little less. If you are obese, that's a chronic illness. This isn't like, oh, you can just cut some calories, right? This is like food poisoning. This is medication poisoning. This is a hormonal imbalance. This kind of, right? If you see like cultures who, they cook with a lot of oil and palm oil and stuff like this, right? My West Indian folks, my African folks, right? And they got the curry goat and all this type of stuff and cooking with all kind of oil. And they've got like this kind of soggy belly. There's a lot of fat buildup in the belly, specifically the lower belly, not the skinny arms and legs, but the belly, right?
Not soggy though.
Right. And you see like the men with the moobs, right? Um, and this is stress, and it's poisonous.
Moobs.
Oh, come on now, come on,
He said
come on.
moobs.
Don't make fun of. Come on. It's a real official term, right? It's a man boobs to put it together as moobs. Right?
I'm sorry. You got me off guard with that one.
Come on now. So this is poisoning. You'll see some women, they'll have, like lower body obesity, and the fellas love that, right? Wide hips, the big jiggly button thighs and all of this, right? Dudes just be acting up, losing their damn mind, staring and gawking and carrying on, jumping into comments in the DM section.
Well, they
right?
like
Let me
the
give
thick,
you a
they like
baby.
them thick girls. The thick
Right?
girls is it.
Yeah. There's a lot of estrogen that serves as a protection mechanism against stress. But that obesity, right, it's a protective stress mechanism. But estrogen actually reduces visceral fat accumulation and belly fat accumulation, believe it or not. So you'll have women they'll get like the jiggly arms, right? And the thighs and the butt and the hips, right? And of course store it in the breasts. When men store fat, we store it just all around the midsection. Men store body fat in a hideous way. It's all up in your it's all up in your belly, it's all up on your back, and the back of your neck, the back of your head. Like you see, like some men, they got the fat roll in the back of the head. You know what I'm talking about? Like if a guy shaves his head, you see that it's like a frankfurter, like just strapped to the back of the head, where it's like a pack of Franks, right? A pack of hot dogs on the back, right? And then you got the moobs, you got the fat back, and the little arms and legs. Yeah, little arms and legs, the deep belly button, right? The love handles, and all that type of stuff. Men don't store the body fat very well, right? And then and then men will start having higher estrogen because as men gain more body fat, your testosterone levels start to dip, and then your fat cells are starting to produce more estrogen, and that's where the moobs come in. So then you got the chunky face, you got the breasts, right? You got the puffy nipples and stuff like that, right?
Puffy nipples? Come on.
Yeah. It happens, right?
Puffy nipples.
Yeah. You ever seen that before? You've seen a man with puffy nipples? It's called gynecomastia, right? That's the scientific term.
I've never seen puffy nipples before. This is really. I gotta Google this.
Yeah, look it up. Gynecomastia.
He's not.
Or just
insulting.
type in.
He's not insulting, Jermaine. I say he said stop insulting fat people. He's not insulting. He's speaking the truth about what happened.
Oh, it's not an insult. I'm just describing something that's taking place. It's just a description.
What happens? Can I? Sakaya had asked earlier. Sakaya Wilson. She said, like, how long should you be fasting for? Sakaya, I forgot your question, but I think she said, like, how long and how many days?
Yeah, so it really depends on what your goal is, right? There's a variety of different fasting strategies that you can engage in. You could start with, a fasting strategy like early time-restricted feeding, meaning you start eating an hour after you wake up and then you finish eating, let's say, 6 to 8 hours before bed. Right? Then you can upgrade from that to having more of a 4-hour eating window, right? So you're probably done eating like around 2 o'clock in the afternoons. Or you can have it, you eat one meal a day, right? So you probably eat like around 9 a.m. or something like that, and then you're done eating for the rest of the day. Or you can do alternate day fasting where you eat every other day, right? Or you can do a rolling fast where, you eat and then you fast for 2 or 3 days, right? This kind of thing. So there's a variety of different strategies to do, but it depends on your lifestyle, what your goals are, and how severe your issue is. And, how much of a tolerance for fasting you have, right? But
so,
I'm just,
Oh, I was gonna say thank you because I thought you were done. Sorry, answering that. Sorry. Somebody else had a question I wanted to ask. B. Brown said,
I had to scroll it. BB Brown said, "What's the best way to begin a raw vegan diet?" And then after you answer that, I want to know, like, how do you teach these people after they lose weight from fasting to keep it off?
So it's actually pretty easy to keep the weight off after you've lost it. Problem is that people will lose a lot of weight and they think they can just go back to how they were eating before, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you can't do that because the way that you were eating before got you to where you are, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you decide that you're going to walk your way out of obesity, you have to be done with that life. So you can't go back to loading up the pan with palm oil. You can't go back to the egg omelets with the cheese and all of this, eating the dairy. You can't do that. You can't go back.
Yeah.
You can't go back to eating 12, 1, and 2 o'clock in the morning. You can't go back to that, right? You can't go back to drinking alcohol and, smoking weed and all this stuff. You can't go back to that.
Right.
And yes, I said smoking weed. People get sensitive about that. But first of all, you're not supposed to be smoking herb. You put it in tea, you put it in food, tincture. You're not supposed to be smoking. You're not supposed to be inhaling smoke.
Mm.
The herb may be medicinal, but the smoke is not.
Come on now.
And, inhaling smoke is very devastating to your vascular system. It will mess your vascular system up. It's not a good idea. When you inhale smoke, it's pretty much you're snuffing out the oxygen that's in your bloodstream and in your body. It's a form of asphyxiation. Interesting thing is when people die in like house fires or something like that, it's not the fire that kills them. It's the smoke inhalation. They suffocate first. They don't die from the fire. They die from the smoke inhalation. But yeah, getting back to obesity, it has to be treated like a chronic illness. And the thing is that when people are selling weight loss plans and stuff like that, there's a lot of gimmicks, and it's not explained as a chronic illness. And you have to look, it's not going to make sense any other way until you look at it as a chronic illness. So if you have people doing an hour of cardio a day, killing themselves in the gym and under eating, that may work for like 1% of people who are obese. But 1%, that's not. So for example, you'll see people, right? And they'll be on the internet. And they'll have, let's say, Instagram, 1 point something million followers or whatever, right? Or several million followers.
Mm-hmm.
They'll be running an ad campaign on Facebook and Instagram. They have a YouTube channel all big and blown up, right? And they'll have like a carousel of like 10 before and after pictures. And then you look at the before and after pictures and you go, oh, wow, this person really knows what they're doing. They have a lot of success with people. And it's like, well, what's the success rate? They never talk about the success rate. If I have 10 before and after pictures, or even 20 before and after pictures, but I put 1,000 people through the plan, all right, well, 20 out of 1,000, it's not like a great success ratio. So you have to talk about, well, what is most likely to work? Most people who try to get out of obesity, they fail at it. Because it's very difficult to reverse obesity if you don't understand what causes obesity. This is the fundamental problem, right? So when people say, oh, it's just calories in, calories out, or you just eat more, you eat less, and move more. If that were the case, we wouldn't need weight loss coaches, right? You could just go to McDonald's, you get 2 Big Macs, and that's all you eat for the rest of the day. And you just lose weight. Now, when I say that, people be like, oh, that sounds ridiculous. Well, because it is, right? But that is the calories in, calories out method. Now, if you're going to say that the whole Big Mac method is ridiculous, then you agree with me that your approach has to be a lot more sophisticated than just calories in, calories out. If I talk about fasting doesn't work because there's no calories. Fasting works because it creates a hormonal response in the body. It creates a variety of hormonal responses. I mean, we're talking about autophagy. We're talking about growth hormone release. We're talking about turning on your adrenal function to a higher degree, right? You could put somebody on a raw vegan diet for 90 days, and they'll detox. 90 days. Right? So fruits only, 90 days. Right? Now, if you tell a person fast for 7 days, they can get, or 14 days, they can get the same amount of results fasting for 7 to 14 days than they did eating raw for the 90 days.
Mm.
It's not a calories thing. It's a hormonal thing. And your hormones govern whether you're losing bone mass, muscle mass, burning glucose, or fat cells. It's not a calories thing. It's a very oversimplified way of doing it. So you'll have people who are nearly 300 pounds. They're doing an hour of cardio, 6, 7 days a week, killing themselves. Their sleep is terrible. They feel miserable. They're swinging back and forth between chronic anxiety and depression. And they're frustrated and pissed off and feel like failures because the weight's not coming up. You're going to tell that person, oh, you just got to move more and eat less. They're already doing that. I speak to these people all the time. These people book calls with me like every day. I speak to these people all the time. I've been doing these calls every day for years. It's the same thing over and over and over again. And people reach out to me because everything they previously did didn't work because they took all the conventional advice already. I'm that end point. I'm the person that people go to when they're like, I done did everything else and it's not working. I'm not talking about calories. Oh, you just have to count them. No. It's an entirely different thing. It's a chronic illness. Diabetes, chronic illness. Kidney disease, chronic illness. Fatty liver, chronic illness. Obesity, chronic illness. It's not easy to gain 50 pounds. It's not easy to gain 100 pounds. It's not easy to do. It's hard.
It's not
to do.
really.
Most people who are 100 pounds overweight, I eat more than they do. But they're like more than 100 pounds. They weigh more than 100 pounds more than me. And I'll eat 1,000 calories more than they do.
Wow.
Right? So you can't tell those people calories in, calories out. That's their lived experience says that that's not true. Right? So you'll have people, they do these fads. Keto diet, because sugar's bad. So you got to cut out all your carbs, right?
Yeah.
Cut out all your sugar. And it's like, well, if you understand your hormones, you know, if a hormone is deactivated for a long enough period of time, it shuts off. Right? It's like with autoimmune disease. If you reduce the frequency of activation of the immune system, the activation of it comes down. Literally, your white blood cell count ticks down. You see people with autoimmune disease, their white blood cell count is really elevated. Their immune system is overactive. It's way overactive, right? Like Hashimoto's. And they produce too many antibodies. And those antibodies start to have oxidative effects on their thyroid. And all of these people have high-stress lifestyle. Now, what happens if you have a person with Hashimoto's disease, and if you tell them, oh, well, you have to just eat less and move more. Well, eating less is a stressor. Moving more is also a stressor. Now that person already has a stressful lifestyle. They're struggling with bills. They're working long hours. They get poor sleep quality. Now they got to drag their ass to the gym and work out, and now they got to cut out all the foods that they're used to eating and being hungry all the time. What do you think that does to their stress levels? Right? It's a hormonal issue. So you have to be more sophisticated in your reasoning. Right? So I don't do the whole before and after thing because it doesn't tell you anything. Anybody can do that. As a matter of fact, people sell their before and after pictures. They make money off of selling their before and after pictures. Right? And so, and you can make money off of doing that, right?
That's great.
And you can run ads with just people's pictures. And you can reuse somebody's pictures for years. And it works for sales, but the problem is if you look at the numbers are not heading in the right direction. You have gyms on every corner. Gyms and fitness, multi-billion-dollar industry. This is crazy money makers. Protein powders, weight loss pills, pre-workouts, gym memberships, all this type of stuff. Big, huge money makers. Everybody nowadays is a damn fitness coach, or online internet personal trainer. Everybody with a set of abs, they're selling a fitness program or a diet plan.
Everybody.
But look at the obesity numbers. How is it that you have more of an emphasis on fitness, but the nation collectively is getting more obese? This is an inverse correlation. How do you explain that?
Come on now.
Right? If a person is 45 years old, chronic joint pain, they could barely move because they're 300 pounds. They go for a walk for 15 minutes, they're out of breath, and they feel miserable, and they're wildly uncomfortable in their body, and they're deeply insecure about it, and you're going to give this person some crazy fitness program. They're not even going to attempt to do that. Matter of fact, the person who's like 100 pounds overweight, they look at some guy doing backflips on the internet with no shirt on, and he's all ripped and jacked and muscular. He's got an 8-pack and all of this type of stuff, and he's showing off on the internet doing flying push-ups and lifting all kind of weight. Somebody who's 50 or 100 pounds overweight is not going to look at that guy and be like, I want to do his workouts.
Right.
It's right, like it's entertaining on the internet, but I don't have interest in entertaining people.
It ain't realistic.
It's not worth
to be
it.
doing that all the time. That's just for show.
Yeah, but if people don't learn from that. When I get on the internet, I'm like, look, I guarantee you, if you look at any of my content, you're gonna learn something that you didn't know before.
Yeah.
Right? Nobody's gonna tell you, oh, why when I go on a keto diet and then I went off the keto diet and my cholesterol ran through the roof, I was insulin resistant, my blood sugar's now super high, I didn't gain all this weight back. What happened? Yeah, because if you avoid carbs for long enough, you abandon your glucose metabolism. Right? It's like, imagine you learned how to ride a bike when you were 10 years old and you haven't ridden a bike in like 30 years. You're 40 years now. You're 40 years old now. You want to get back on a bike. You see how weird it feels.
You said if you avoid carbs?
Yeah. If you avoid carbs.
I've never done that. That is my staple. Okay?
Yeah. Well, the thing too is,
in my 12 and a half years of eating vegan, I have always eaten a high carb diet, even when I was smaller. So carbs didn't make me gain weight.
Right.
You know, I gain weight for other
carbs. Yeah, but carbs don't like make you gain weight, right?
Yeah.
And there's not even any scientific evidence that shows that carbs uniquely make you gain weight.
That's what everybody thinks, though.
At least not fat. Well, yeah, because you have animal agriculture, and they want to get you to eat more meat and sell you more dairy. It's about money.
Remember,
guess who makes all the...
Sorry, I wanted to get a couple of questions that people ask in.
Yeah, I'm going on a rant. I know I'm ranting.
T. Vegan asked a while ago, won't eating one time a day slow your metabolism? And then there's 2 questions in the box. Moss is gone now, so he wanted to know what's a good way to start eating healthy, but he's gone now. So first answer, will eating 1 meal a day mess up your hormones? Is that what I said? Is that what she said? I think, yeah. Or your metabolism. No, she said your metabolism would mess up your metabolism. And then I'll go on to the other question in here.
It depends on how you do it. So like, let's say you eat 1 meal a day, but that meal is missing a lot of things. Let's say the meal is too small. Let's say the meal doesn't have enough diversity as far as a full amino acid and mineral profile. Let's say that meal doesn't have any vitamin C or any B vitamins, or it doesn't have the omega-3s or whatever the case is. You could develop all these nutrient gaps with that 1 meal. So if you're going to do 1 meal a day, then your nutrition has to be structured in a very intelligent way so that you're not developing all kind of nutrient gaps. Now, this is not so much of an issue until you start doing it really long term. 3 months, 6 months, a full year. Then you can start developing problems as a result. So it depends on how long you're doing it, and it depends on what you're eating. Okay. Fasting isn't a magic bullet because it has to be accompanied with solid nutrition. So can't just fast and then when you're done fasting,
Go
you just eat
crazy.
whatever and you just be negligent, right? It doesn't
Mhm.
really work that way.
Yeah. Yeah.
So when I advocate for fasting, it's not a magic bullet, right? You get a really solid diet and then you get a really solid fasting routine, right? It's a full spectrum approach. Right? Um, but yeah, before I get back to ranting and all of that, because I could talk about the big money influences and whatnot, of why people think the things that they think, because it has nothing to do with science. Right? But what is important to know is how in the United States, we're very, very obsessed with eating meat, right? Which is first world privilege. It is. You eating 6 eggs a day or 4 eggs a day, eating a pound of red meat a day, and then bacon and all this type of stuff. Eating an abundance of meat like this, you can only do that in a first world nation that has an elaborate enough infrastructure and supply line to be able to produce that, because you're not going to be able to get that much meat naturally. You're not. You're
Hmm.
going to have to climb trees and search nests to collect the eggs. You're going to have to go out and track and catch and kill animals. Right? And then you're going to have to defend what you tracked and killed against other predators in the area who want what you just got. Then you have to be able to transport the carcass of the animal that you just killed back to wherever you live. Then you have to cut it up. You have to remove the fur and the skin and all this type of stuff. And then you have to clean the meat because as human beings, we get salmonella poisoning, right? We get all types of bacterial infections and whatnot from animals, right? Because it's unclean, right? Animals are not clean, right? And so whatever parasites they got in them, you getting it. Whatever cancerous tumors you got, you getting it. Whatever bacterial infections they got, you getting it. Worms, you getting it, right?
Fix it, Jesus, fix it.
All of it, right? So you're getting all of that, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're not a carnivore. It's cute branding. Oh, eat like an apex predator.
No.
You are bipedal. You're a small mammal, okay? You're not built like a carnivore. You're not built like a predator. It's a cool thing to fantasize about, but logistically it doesn't check out at all. And as our population consumes more meat, and you can track this in the United States, as Americans started eating more meat, the obesity rates climbed. People want to act like, oh, it's just processed food and all of this. The obesity trend has been ticking up along with the increase in meat consumption. As a matter of fact, the populations with the most amount of meat consumption have the shortest lifespans and the highest instances of heart disease, diabetes, cancer. Look at Hong Kong. Hong Kong, when they came out of poverty and started eating meat, they climbed up into the top 3 as far as diabetes and heart disease. Russia, same thing. When India started moving away from vegetarianism and eating more animal products, their rates of obesity and diabetes started climbing. Look at the statistics. Go Google countries with the highest rates of diabetes, right? Northern Europe, the Scandinavian countries, right? Highest instances of osteodegenerative bone disease. They consume the most dairy, right? Populations with the highest consumption of fruits and vegetables have the lowest all-cause mortality and the longest lifespan. And they all just so happen to be the closest to the equator, where human beings generally are supposed to live, closer to the equator, right? Where all the stuff that you're supposed to be eating grows. Human beings are not meant to be living in really cold climates. Human beings are not really supposed to do that. You're not geared towards that.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And this is why you have to wear clothes and all types of stuff like that, because you can't handle the coldness. You're just not, right? So I'm talking about logistics. Now, the people who are the most likely, or the companies, the capital interests that are the most likely the ones who are selling the meat are the wealthy. The ones who are selling the fruit are typically people from the global south. Poor people. Those are the ones selling the mangoes and the cantaloupes and the honeydew and the watermelons. People from the global south. This meat racket and butcher box and big animal farms and all of that, that is created by millionaires and billionaires. And those people, they got all the commercials, the food chains, they're all friends with the pharmaceutical companies and the health insurance executives, and they all work together in order to monopolize the markets and farm you for profits. And what do we have to show for it? Highest money spent on healthcare, lowest health outcomes. Climbing medical bankruptcy and medical debt, declining health outcomes. That should not be happening at the same time. This is how you know you're being played. All right? So when people want to argue with me, I'm like, look, the numbers are what they are.
Mm.
But the fact of the matter is that when people are all, the carbs, blah, 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 I'm like, well, you keep doing that and ignore the numbers. But it is unethical to lead people off a cliff. It just is.
Yeah.
Right? Animals are smart in a way where they know to eat what's for them. Right? Human beings, they think everything's for them. Because we have this very narcissistic culture. We think we're entitled to everything. We get to eat the squids, the octopuses, the eggs. We get to farm babies, right? Because all the bacon and stuff, this all comes from babies, right? You're slaughtering babies to get your ground beef and your steaks and your chickens and all of this type of stuff. So, every day you wake up in the morning and you eat meat from several different babies for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. This is a privileged thing that you can't get naturally. This first world privilege, and it's a result of colonization and exploitation and pure narcissism. And look what it's getting us.
I have a question from my boy Monster that asked a long time ago, and I want to make sure I address it. He's still on here? Monster, are you still here? Monster wants to know, what's the best way to start a healthy lifestyle? And then there's a few other questions in the question box. So answer that one, and then I want to answer these from Jermaine and Energy in the top box. I mean, in the question box.
So people ask me a lot, how do you get started?
Yeah.
I think I explained this on the last stream. So number one, so you start with the 5 categories of a plant-based diet: fruits, vegetables, nuts and seeds, greens, and legumes. You can throw mushrooms in there as a miscellaneous 6. And then you pick 2 to 3 foods from each category, okay? So if it's 5 categories, or 6 if you include mushrooms, and you get 2 to 3 from each one, you're going to be at least getting 10 different types of foods.
Mm-hmm.
Fruits are going to have the most versatility. From the fruit category alone, you can be getting 15 different types alone, right? So from the fruit category, apples, pears, grapes, right? Then you got grapefruit, tangerines, tangelos, clementines, blood oranges. Then you got, I think, red grapes, green grapes, blueberries, raspberries, strawberries, goji berries, right? Green kiwis, golden kiwis, Thai bananas, conventional yellow bananas, watermelon, different types of mangoes. I can name like 30 different types of fruits.
Yeah,
right? Right out the gate.
So many options.
But basically, from the fruits, cherries, right. So from the fruit category, from that alone, you can pick like at least 5 different fruits. Okay? Your top 5, the ones you like eating the most. 5. Boom, you're done. Green leafy vegetables, right? Your cruciferous greens. So this can be, let's say, broccoli, spinach, kale, and whatever is your favorite cabbage. Napa cabbage, bok choy, whatever the case is. 3 to 4, easy. Right? Nuts and seeds. Brazil nuts, almonds, pistachios, cashews.
Yeah.
Done. For your seeds, pumpkin seed kernels, sunflower seed kernels, chia seeds, hemp seeds, flax seeds. Boom, done. Grains, rolled oats, basmati rice, wild rice, kamut, quinoa. Boom, done. I just said 2 to 3. That's already 5 right after that. I've given you like more than 5 for each category so far. Legumes, red lentils, green lentils, black beans, chickpeas, red kidney beans.
Chickpeas?
Split
Did you
peas.
say chickpeas?
Yes. Split peas, soybeans. That's 7. Boom, done. And then mushrooms. Baby Bella, Bella mushrooms, chicken of the woods. Boom, done. Right? Now for your day, essentially what you do is for your first meal, you can get all fruits. Boom, your first meal is done. Second meal, you can have a grain with several fruits. All right? So like you can do rolled oats or kamut or quinoa with, let's say, blueberries, strawberries, sliced banana. Boom, that's first meal, done. You can even add coconut yogurt to it. Boom, done. All right, good to go. If you really want to load it up, add flax seeds or hemp seeds. Boom, done. Third meal. Third meal, you can do, let's say, 2 to 3 pears, a couple cups of grapes. Boom, done. Fourth meal, you can do basmati rice, black beans, sliced avocado, let's say, cashews, hemp seeds, and whatever green leafy vegetable you want to do. Let's say kale. Right? Boom, done. That's 4 meals right there. And what you do is you go from your list and you create combinations, 3 to 4 meals a day, and you make 3 different variations that you can alternate throughout the week. That's your diet plan. Boom, done.
Bam.
That's
just change up the fruits, change up the beans, change up the vegetables, change up the greens, and you just mix and match. You know what I mean?
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And then you can go on YouTube and look up sauce recipes. Let's say look up coconut curry sauce recipe. Boom. Spicy Italian sauce recipe. Boom. Done. Indian sauce, let's say masala recipe. Boom. Done. Jerk sauce recipe. Boom.
Just make sure
so you can just have your sauces.
Vegan, just add
vegan.
Vegan.
Exactly. Yeah. So then you come up with your sauce recipes, real easy, so you can put your sauces over your cooked foods. Boom, done.
Because the sauces will make or break. The sauces and the seasonings will make or break your non-fruit meals. Because you don't need you don't need none of that for fruit. Okay.
No, you don't.
You eat fruit by itself and it's bomb. But when you come to eating, those types of things, the sauces are what's going to make or break. If you just try to eat some beans and rice and vegetables with no type of seasonings or sauces, it's going to be nasty. Well, I can't speak for everybody. I'm going to say for me, it won't be fulfilling. It won't be exciting to eat. And then it's going to it'll turn me off. You know what I mean? So make sure you season your food if you're eating non-fruit, and find some fun sauces. I found this bitchin' sauce at Sprouts. If you're lazy like me and don't want to make your own sauce, find some cool things like at Whole Foods or Sprouts that are sauces that, have just normal ingredients in them, not all the weird stuff you can't pronounce. Okay, you guys, it's an hour, and I have to actually bring it to a close because I got 101 things to do today. So there's 2 people that didn't get their question answered in the box. Energy, I don't know if they're still on here, and Jermaine. Send Remsen an inbox. Maybe you can book a call with him if you have questions about the fasting. I hate to cut it short, but I do. It's been an hour, and I gotta go. I'm sorry. Remsen, your information is always very valuable. We always really enjoy your knowledge and your wisdom. Thank you once again. Sorry, everyone, if you didn't get your question answered. He is a high raw vegan coach. Look, I should be his manager. I'm like, oh no.
Yeah. By the way, you're triggering my abandonment issues.
How am I? Because I'm leaving you.
Just cutting out.
Just cutting out, huh?
Yeah.
I
Cool.
actually told my husband, I was like, I'm gonna probably wrap it up around 12:40, which is 3:40 your time, right? But I didn't do that, so I actually gave you 22 more minutes than I planned. No.
I got you.
But anyway,
So I should be grateful,
yes,
right?
should
We
be
should all be
grateful.
grateful, us peasants.
I gave you
Should
22
be
extra
grateful for
minutes.
the
No.
extra 22 minutes.
Yes. No. You guys, he's a high raw vegan nutritionist. As you see, he has a lot of knowledge. So if you need help about, with weight loss or healing, please send him an inbox and tell him that you saw him on our wonderful live Bowling for Fruit. This is called Bowling for Fruit, in case you guys don't know. Bowling for Fruit Q&A. We do bi-weekly, and just hit him up. You know what I'm saying? He can help you. Thank you guys all that participated today. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your questions. And it's always hard to answer everyone's questions because, your brother be getting deep on each answer. So,
Ranting. Rambling.
So you guys hit him up if you have more questions. Thank you guys. Make sure you follow us both. And we also both have YouTube channels. Check out our YouTube channels in our bios. Yours is in your bio too, right? The link?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. He is Remsen, a.k.a. Zakia. He is at Tribe by Noir. If you just go into the box on this live, you can see everybody that's watching right now. Just go ahead and click on his name to follow him. And I'll be posting a clip, maybe tomorrow or something like that. But I'll also be posting this full live on my YouTube channel by tonight. So you guys can watch it from the beginning if you missed any. You can also share it with your friends and family. So it'll be on my YouTube by tonight. And then I'll post a clip on Instagram in a couple of days. So make sure you guys check it out if you missed the beginning, okay? Or if you want to go back and replay and take notes or something. All right. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much, Remsen. Have a wonderful rest of your day.
All right.
And I'll see you in 2 weeks.
Yep, 2 weeks. All right, then.